Hey everyone, it's Types, and today I'm going to be looking at the GLC deck lists. I have not looked at GLC decks in a while, so these are going to be Obsidian Flame decks. Keep in mind these are generally played on webcam tournaments, which are, let's say, less than ideal, as they're weird. They're like, they're tournaments you won't watch because they're ugly, unfortunately. But I wanted to look at these lists, and look at lists that went at least even. Okay, so like the winner, it says they got 2 wins and 6 losses, but those could be due to like wins that were like buys. Let's see which one got buys. This one got buys. So that's fine. I'm gonna be looking at I'll look at these two fairy lists, I suppose. Um, and yeah, I want to see what like the different lists are running. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff going on. Let's see, can you see that? Yeah. I mean, you can't see the whole thing. It doesn't fit. But yeah, this is a uh this is a no, what is this? I have not looked at like fairy in like forever. So this is like a fairy attacking list. We got Cool Fable, which like hits for a surprisingly good amount of damage. It hits for. So I was just checking the energy. It hits for a lot, right? It does so 30 more damage for each your Pokemon that has any fairy energy attached to it. So you want to get fairy energy around everywhere. And then you can just go ahead and swing for just count the active. Yeah, I can swing for 190, which is very good. Did I do that math right? Yeah, I did. Okay. So it's pretty good, but you want to get the energy in play. Um, let's see. This decreases the attack cost of your fairy attacks. Shinonex searches for fairy Pokemon. Xerneas is just a generically solid attacker. Same thing with Mimikyu. And I believe Tapu Fini is also just an okay attacker. Yeah, this is an amazing attacker, but it's what you work with. I don't actually know how you get the energies into play. Obviously, you have like Raihan. Um, and then let's see, what's this Togekiss? Its attack is not good, but oh, okay. So when you play this, you look at the top 8 cards of your deck, and then accelerate the basic energy you find there. That's pretty good. It's not like amazing, but that's solid. And then you have Diantha. Diantha is like an insane card as well, and Fairy. And then you have Devolution Spray. I'm assuming you have Net. So yeah, you can reuse Togekiss a few times to power up Fable. And you'll manually attach, and then Clefable will get pretty big as well. So I guess you're probably not hitting that 180, but you can be hitting pretty solid amounts close to that. Yeah, pretty straightforward deck. Doesn't seem like the greatest deck in the world. It's not, but it's how people play Fairy, and this is Fairy control. So this deck's kind of sketchy, but the main idea you do here is where is it? It's Seaboy, Lily, Pokédoll, and Robo Substitute, which are like Pokemon that don't give up prizes. You get those in the active, and then you use this really powerful Florges, which has its ability here is once during your turn you may flip a coin. If heads, put an item from your discard on top of your deck. You don't attack this deck at all, but you just recover stuff. And then you use, let's see, you use like Lieutenant Surge's strategy and Lusamine and Diantha to like recover stuff, and like Silene, and you have Will to guarantee heads. You have Cynthia Caitlin again to recover. You have, and then just generic other cards for like Disruption, Bloodlum, Bryson Man, and Team Rocket's Handiwork for Mill as well as Trick Shovel, and like Faba. I think you get the idea. Just control stuff. And then yeah, there's this Clef as well, which like draws on a coin flip. It's a fun card. Um, but yeah, this is actually a pretty straightforward deck. You don't really do too much, but I figured that's what Fairy would look like. So let's move on to Dragon. Any list that did well. There's this list here. This is, I think, a normal Dragon list. Oh, this is not exactly what I was expecting. Um, Notably, this Noivern is a spread-based attacker. But this other attack is 120 for 3. I'm a little surprised about that Noivern. But then Drampa is you want damage on your bench. Salamence says it does 100 or 220 if they have damage on them. So I guess Noivern sets that up. And then you also have Garchomp. This like line's very good. Gabite searches for Pokemon, and Garchomp just kind of is invincible the turn you play it. You got Dredagon, which does it's a revenge attacker. You got a number of attackers that are just pretty good, and then you have a wide variety of energies here as well. The deck's a pretty cool deck, pretty straightforward. I'm a little bit surprised no reversal energy, but I suppose there aren't too many targets for reversal. so it's not like the strongest card in the deck. This is what dragons looked like in the past as well, so pretty straightforward stuff here. Yeah, let's just move on to the next type. I'm going from like bad to good. Now we got a couple of metal lists. This one plays fire energy apparently for this Heatran. I think this is just a straightforward just metal list where you have the Berserker line to do more damage, Bronzong to accelerate, Cobalion, Dialga, Heatran, Zamazenta. I don't know this Bastion, but I assume it's just like a solid attacker. Oh no, this one has an ability to prevent all of your damage done to your metal attacks by Pokemon that have special energy attached to them. Oh, that's actually insane. Um, yeah, hopefully you're not playing Dragon against this deck. That's actually really good. I did not. Oh, but it's a stage two. Okay, yeah, I was like, um, yeah, that's pretty solid though. And then you do run a Rev Room as your engine and Jirachi as well. And Jirachi's kind of sketchy, but Rev Room super good engine piece. And then yeah, pretty normal stuff here. We got a couple of fossil pieces to get the Bastiodon into play as well. So it's pretty cool. I think this deck's um, I think Metal's okay right now. Obviously it's not like the best, but it seems kind of cool. Oh, and this is like the same list. So yeah, I think it's fun. Nothing crazy going on here. You do have a lot of defensive options. Oh, you have metal frying pan. You also do have metal goggles, which this list doesn't run. But I don't know. I think metal's like a fun, decently chill type. It's a little inconsistent and like slow though, which is a bit unfortunate. But I think it's fun. Next up, we got grass. Apparently, people aren't playing grass very much anymore. So I'll just look at this top list. I'll look at the second list too, I suppose. I'll look at this list to make sure they didn't just get a bye. Yeah, okay. So they got one win. Um, this list first. This is like normal grass stuff, where you got like Rillaboom, Venusaur to get lots of energy into play and like hit hard. Um, and that's fine. This Toad School is kind of funny. Coin flippy stuff. And you can like deny an energy. I don't know too much about why that's in the list, but it's there, which is kind of fun. But then you also got this list, which did better. Only went 2-2, which isn't amazing, but it did okay. Um, and then you see this one's also no okay. So there's some interesting stuff going on here. You got Leavanny, which I believe increases like your HP. You have Vaquinid saying it's immune to fire, which is interesting. Obviously, it's an important tech. If you're against fire, it's the only way you win. You got Beautifly and Torterra, two very strong lines. You got Kricketune again for buffing HP, so you can get massive HP. Buzzwole, which is a nice comeback attacker. Shining Genesect is just a generic good attacker. And Heracross, I believe, is yeah, also like a pretty generic good attacker. So I think this is like interesting. It's just a tanky grass list, but it's fun. You even have Herbal Energy to heal, and you have other things like Ether Paradise Conservation to reduce damage. You got, just a very tanky based deck here. I think this is cool. Um, Obviously, like your damage output isn't amazing on anything aside from Torterra and I suppose Buzzwole and Shiny Genesect, I guess. We don't have too much energy acceleration, so I think the list is like fun though. Um, I'd say like the just hardcore grass loss energy list is I think it's still all right, but darkness apparently a very good type right now. Um, or like pretty good. It's pretty high win rate. So let's look at these top three lists here. Actually, the first two are played by the same person. This list is not a lot of Pokemon. Okay, this is interesting. Whoa. Okay, so you got this Hydreigon, which says when you play, you accelerate energy, but its stats are insane. It's all 180, and then 160 for three is like super good. And you have Galarian Moltres, which you can then turn into Guzzlord using Ninja Boy and Thornton, which is really fun. Um, like you have Altal and Sableye for like disruption, and then you have Light Bar to draw, and that's it. Like it plays Rare Candy as well. This list is crazy. You just Guzzlord, I think it's just like a Guzzlord list. With Nanu as well. I forgot about Nanu. That card is just Thornton for Dark. So yeah, this is just a Guzzlord list, and it's crazy. I think this is so sketchy, but it's so funny. Um, I mean, it's not that sketchy. It's pretty cool. I think I like this deck. I don't know how consistent it is, but it seems really fun and really like creative. It's like a very specific list as opposed to this list, yeah, which is just a more normal dark list. We got your boys, obviously Life Orb. Then you have Zoroark actually playing this Zoroark as opposed to the switching one, which has this attack that either copies one of your opponent's attacks or searches for anything, which is a very nice attack as well. And then you have Weavile, which is does more for each ability your opponent has in play. Spiritomb, just a very good attacker. Um, and then Yveltal as well for Deception and Guzzlord. So some similar ideas, but I don't know. I think it's still pretty like it's similar ideas to what I've seen before, but pretty solid. And I think it just has a number of good attackers. I think Darkness doesn't have as much of a focus either. Let's look at these top two. I'll just look at this top. Now I'll look at these top two colorless lists here. And I think this might actually be it for the video, and then I might split into two parts because I think it's worth splitting into two parts. Actually, how many fire lists are there? And I will look at fire in this video, and then I'll look at the top decks in the GLC in the next video. So stay tuned for that. But this is colorless, which I always forget has like so much sauce. It is completely singleton, which is fun. So we got Porygon Z, which is great for energy acceleration. Arguably, I do think Archeops is worth running as well. I think both could be good, but obviously it's a lot of space, so people don't play that. I think that's pretty rare to see that, but I like it. You got Pelipper, solid search. You got Pelipper, Barrel, and Chinchino. A lot of setup stuff here. Yeah, Kangaskhan, Slacking. Slacking is like ability lock, which is very good. Lugia, which like hits decently hard, and then you got Cyclizar, a nice like pivot setup Pokemon. Ditto, of course, for copying and Snorlax. So some pretty solid, just basic attackers here. And Slacking. Slacking is like super good, not a basic. You have some disruption as well, but not that much. You have like ability lock, and then yeah, just lots of special energies, right? It's like how this way. You just get lots of special energies on. Notably, Jet is new, Therapeutics new. Although I don't know how good Therapeutic is. What's it stop? Does it just stop? That's not the right card. Um, it stops sleep, confusion, and paralysis. Okay, it does not stop like burn and poison. I feel like I should know that, but those are like you can get paralyzed, I guess. So that's nice. And then it's there for like Snorlax to not fall asleep. And then you got bulk stuff. You got Fighting Fury Belt, Muscle Band. Actually, just like only Fighting Fury Belt for bulk. I'd expect a little more, but it's like Snorlax isn't like huge, but it seems kind of awkward to knock out. So I consider adding like Bravery Charmer, or Cape of Toughness or something, but obviously not running this list. But Jet Energy is a really nice addition to the deck as it's a switch and a special energy. But then obviously powerful twin double colorless and even double turbo stars of the show in this deck. And recycle, draw, nice as well. Capture, gift, very good. You got a lot of good special energies. So I really like the deck. I think colorless is solid, and this other list is pretty similar as well, running Archeops instead. And this is a few fossil things here. So you see when they are playing Archeops, they're leaning more into fossils. And then you get the Archeops, and then you got the Aerodactyl. So Aerodactyl is pretty good. It hits 180 for 3. And then pretty much the rest of the stuff looks very similar. But then you have more stuff to focus on, like Fossil Research Lab, identifying fossil excavation map. So you just play stuff to set that up. This one actually plays Warp Energy, which is you attach it to the active, and it's like the opposite of Jet kind of, but it's solid. Yeah, pretty much the same type of cards here, but I think both these lists are pretty solid. They run essentially the same attacks as well, but I think Colorless is a fun type. I want to see like Colorless control. I want to see control. I know there's some different ways of playing it. I want to see if anyone was running Colorless control because I know it's not that good right now. Yeah, this person did run it, and they won 1 and 2. So let's see how I want to check in colors control. I think it's the same thing that it was before. Yeah, you got Bunnelby, you got Boufflant as well. Boufflant's a solid addition for Lost Zone energies, but I don't know how good it is all the time. And then you got Persian, which is like a very solid option. You can definitely catch your opponent off guard or Apom. Um, you have also Del Caddy to like loop stuff. You can't control top decks very easily. Sorry, I want to check. I think there's a Porygon which can control top decks. So yeah, this one. Look at the top four cards of either player's deck and put them back in any order, which you could consider adding to the deck. I'd say Statland, of course, a very solid line, but like an attacking baseline as well. Well, it doesn't have to be. You can use like memory energy to but it runs this Lillipup to like boss traps. So that's interesting. I suppose that's better than the recovery Lillipup. But I think Colorless Control is like a fun deck. Not fun to play against though. So let's look at these fire lists as well. And fire is also a very good type. Apparently the best type, but I don't know how accurate that is. As I said, only having webcam tournaments unfortunately means that things are kind of sketchy because you don't get many people. But it's still fine. So yeah, this is just a very generic fire list, but you got some awesome additions. You have this Entei. This Entei is very good, as it is like the beat stick Pokemon or whatever you want to call it, where you just get lots of energy on it, hits hard. You've got Cast Form, Free Retreat, very solid attacker. Um, you got Cargo, and that's the only engine piece run in this list. You have the very powerful Arcanine, which has 2 attacks, 190 for 4, or 120, and accelerating, so that's pretty good. Zard, of course, extra energy, and Volcanion. So pretty solid stuff going on here. Like energy acceleration, you got like a solid attacker for hitting. And it's 90, then when you use the bench, you got 6. So you just got very solid attackers into the deck. Um, Although not like a ton of focus, but I think you do have your options covered. As like Entei, Entei doesn't ramp amazingly. It's 60, 20 more for each. So if you want to hit, say, like 180, you need like a lot of energy on here. So I don't know. I think Entei's a little like it's good, but it's a little sketchy. It does reduce damage though, so that's a bit of a tank. And you do play Fighting Fury Belt to maximize that. I don't know. I think the deck's fun. Fire's not my favorite type right now, but it's a cool, solid type. And this one runs a few different things. We see uh, Delphox, which is the draw Delphox, which also has energy ramp. Is that the same attack as Entei? No, it's worse than Entei. Whoops, that's unfortunate. Power creep. It has like essentially less HP and like a worse attack, but that's fine. Obviously a very good draw ability, and then Meg Cargo as well to control our top deck. Oh wait a second, this is really funny. Okay, I like this. It's got this Moltres in the deck. I suppose, yeah, you can do 180 for 3 or for 4, which is actually pretty solid. I honestly did not know it did that. I only know it for its mill attack. The fire mill thing is funny. Um, once you like mill, which you can catch your opponent off guard with if they're like not paying attention, it can be good. You got Ho-Oh, um, and Heatmore, and then you got like the normal attackers. Torkoal is sketchy. You flip coin for each fire energy attached. It does 80 per heads, but you're kind of gambling, but it's a pretty solid Pokemon as well. Essentially, it's 40 per fire energy, which is not too bad. And then you got, let's see, I think that's about it. Oh, yeah, Magma Mason, I didn't really talk about, but Magma Mason is good in the deck as well. Another form of energy acceleration, especially if they can't bump it. Um, and then wait, what's X Transceiver? Oh, that's search for support on a coin flip. I don't know like all these cards. I know pretty much all of them, but not that one. Yeah, and I think that's about it for this video. So stay tuned for next video where I go over the top decks in the game, the top 4. So these were the rogue decks in GLC. And I was just looking at the meta, and I think it's cool. I think GLC is still a fun format. The fact you can't play it on live is bad, and the fact that Twin Leaf is presumably not coming out is also bad. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I'm excited to see you next time. If you did, as I said, consider subscribing, and I hope you enjoyed.